So not every single one has a premium, some do. But however, always people say, well, you know what? I got this bill from Social Security and, I pay it on a quarterly basis. Do I need to continue to pay for that? The answer to that is yes. You still do need to make your Part B premium payment. Are you going to be using your SilverSneakers?
I am totally going to use my SilverSneakers. When I age in, I am so going to use my SilverSneakers.
I know you will. And you'll basically be like, oh, I've used my SilverSneakers today.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to episode 4 of the
Brad and Mike, powered by SVA.
Hey, check it out. Check it out. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think it does.
It does.
Yeah.
You got a big smiley face?
Yeah. Now I have a goatee, and in the original branding picture, I do not have a goatee. I don't think that matters.
No, but we could. I mean, I'm not an artist by any means, so
I could get a Sharpie and just draw it on there, I suppose.
It's a little more gray than that.
Yeah. Yes, it is. They make silver Sharpies. It's all good. It's all good. So with this episode.
Yep. With this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what a Medicare Advantage plan is.
Then we'll do Medicare supplements. First, we'll do Medicare Advantage.
We'll do Medicare Advantage, and then we'll do a Medicare supplement one. But yeah, pretty much realistically, I mean, where we're kind of going with this is that, just kind of the main questions that we get from a lot of people all the time. They call in and they're like, hey, what is a Medicare Advantage? I've been getting bombarded by 85 pieces of mail per day and all these nice phone calls that come through, and they're like, hey, press 1 if you have your Part A or Part B.
The robocalls that I got, the AI calls that I got. And, even if you answer a little bit, if you answer one time, if you think you're going to play with them a little bit, forget about it. They're all over you, and they will call you and call you and call you and call you. So, but that said, Medicare Advantage plans take the place of Medicare Part A, B, and D.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough, yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, with your Medicare Advantage plan, this is really where when people are getting their first introduction, basically, to Medicare, they receive their Part A, they receive the Part B, and then basically the Advantage program is basically the program that they're going to add on to take the place of original Medicare, where through one specific carrier, all those types of benefits in most cases are actually being taken care of. So whether it's a hospital stay, whether it's prescription drugs, whether it's surgery, some of the plans even do come with additional dental, vision, and
absolutely.
Hearing.
And everyone's favorite, SilverSneakers. Everyone loves the SilverSneakers.
Yeah, SilverSneakers or whatever the carrier happens to have. But yeah, all those types of nice little benefits that you get for going into the gym. So
and let's not forget, some plans have a give back that help pay for Medicare Part B premium.
That is correct. So that's an interesting thing, Brad. So Medicare Part B, because this is always we always kind of get this as well. It's like, okay, well, if I sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, is there a cost to the Medicare Advantage plan? Which, when we kind of go through this with people, hey, right. Some of the plans have zero premium, some do have premium.
They do.
So not every single one has a premium, some do. But however, always people say, well, you know what? I got this bill from Social Security and, I pay it on a quarterly basis. Do I need to continue to pay for that? And the answer to that is yes. You still do need to make your Part B premium payment. That never goes away. So if you do sign up for a Medicare Advantage program, doesn't matter. You're still going to pay for Part B regardless. So
right. And so in regards to that, when we help people work their way through an enrollment, and often there's the option for you to have that Part B premium deducted from your Social Security check. And for those people who have already filed for Social Security and taking their Social Security draw, you can have that Part B premium deducted directly from your Social Security check. If you haven't filed for Social Security yet, then yes, as Mike said, you've got to set up a payment plan.
Yeah, and you can basically do that where, you'll do that on a quarterly basis, or you can set it up to where it's electronically paid for on a monthly basis, but you still have to pay. That does not go away. And so just please remember that, because that's a question that we get a lot of times from people. So we always like to just include that just so that people are aware of, there's going to be some cost that's going to be happening.
Right. So let's circle back. You've registered for Part A and Part B, and then you're going to take advantage of a Medicare Advantage plan, which is going to replace what Part A and Part B does. including Part D, which is your prescription drug plan. So within that, there are deductibles and there are components to a Medicare Advantage plan that you have to be aware of.
The copay.
The copay.
Yeah, they pretty much continue on. So, but what's nice about, when people do transition over to Medicare at that point in time and they sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, there really is just going to be copays that you're really going to be instituted with in most cases. I mean, some of the plans do have a deductible that you might have to pay if there's certain types of visits to the hospital that you're going to deal with, or you might even on your prescription drug plans have certain tiers of your prescription drugs that do require there to be a deductible that has to be paid as well. So the main thing, though, is just to remember is at the end of the day, pretty much everything has a copay associated with it. So, I always like to tell people, as far as like with the Medicare Advantage program, I mean, you're going to be paying every single time that you go to see the doctor some type of a copay. Now there are some copays.
Copay for your primary physician, sometimes it's a zero.
Yeah, sometimes there's
nothing.
Can be.
And there's a variance between different carriers with their Medicare Advantage plans, and even within the carriers, they have multiple plans, some with zero premium, some with higher premium. If you're paying a premium for your Medicare Advantage plan, then your exposure is reduced.
That's a really good point. And that's something that I think that a lot of people don't quite realize when they see these plans. Because, let's just say from carrier A has, 4 different plans. And I see one that has zero premium. And then one has it has $10 on it. And then one
or $35 or $185.
Yeah, what's the difference? Why do I want this one versus that one? Well, here's kind of what you have to remember is that within those copays, they're going to be a set dollar amount. So your zero premium type programs are probably going to have the highest copays that you're going to see in those plans. Whereas the ones that you start paying a little bit more for, you'll actually pay less. And where I'm going with this is to say if you're hospitalized, maybe the zero premium plan has a $350 or a $400 copay versus the plan that might have a $50 premium. Maybe you're only spending $300 for a copay in the hospital.
So you can pay the insurance carrier, or
you can pay the doctor.
You can pay the doctor. It's one or the other. I mean, and the plans, sometimes it's a coordinated mixture of both.
Yep.
I guess is a nice way to say it. It really comes down to what your exposure tolerance is. And everyone has a different risk tolerance. And some people we talk to say, I don't want to pay anything. And so you put them on a zero premium Medicare Advantage plan, and they're not coming out of pocket at all. But when they go have
or when they use it,
right? When they use it, they will
pay more.
But then again, people say, I never go to the doctor. I'm not on any medications. I'm really in great shape. And so they don't want to pay anything out of pocket. The beauty of it is each year you get a chance to make another choice.
Yes, you definitely get that chance during the annual enrollment period, which basically happens from October 15th through December 7th every year. That's correct. So if you're in a plan, you don't like your plan, or they could have made a change and they may have actually left the market and your plan's gone away.
Or there's just simply been a benefit within a plan. The plan's still available, but the benefits have been reduced, and people are migrating from one plan to another plan because they want to retain those benefits, i.e. SilverSneakers. And everyone really loves their SilverSneakers. I know it's the second time I said it, but it's so true.
Are you going to be using your SilverSneakers?
I am totally going to use my SilverSneakers. when I age in, I am so going to use my SilverSneakers.
I know you will. And you'll basically be like, oh, I've used my SilverSneakers today.
Yeah.
So, which does bring me to the next point, though, within all of that is, when people every single year, just before open enrollment, the carriers...
It just occurs to me. Pause for a minute. Tell the good folks at home, what is the SilverSneakers plan? What does that do?
So basically what SilverSneakers is a component within the plan for wellness. And so it provides benefits for you. Let's say if you go to Planet Fitness, it basically pays for your membership to Planet Fitness or to LA Fitness. Not every carrier has SilverSneakers, but everybody kind of calls it SilverSneakers. There's OnePass. There's other ones. But the component of that is basically for the gym memberships.
That's what it comes down to.
And that's a huge thing. Because, if you're up and you're active and that type of stuff, I mean, that's a great benefit for you to remain active into your retirement years. So it's a huge benefit for people. But where I was kind of going next is when just before your annual enrollment period, basically the AEP set time of year, the carrier's going to send out that ANOC letter. And so this is one of the things that you're going to hear a lot of us when we're kind of talking about this is everything has basically an acronym. So ANOC is basically Annual Notice of Change, ANOC. You'll get one from the carrier every single year. And what it's going to show you is it's going to show you what last year's plan or your current plan this year, all the benefits. And then on another portion, so it's kind of like a Ben Franklin thing, left and right and that type of thing. But you'll see what the changes are to that plan. And it's really, really important to take a look at those every year. There's so many times where we get people, they're like, I didn't realize this changed. It's like, well, did you look at your ANOC letter? Huh.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, good thing you have time because we can take care of this and that type of scenario.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's very important for people to make sure that they read through those ANOC letters. So that's always a main key component.
It's going to give you a heads up what changes are in the plan that you happen to be in. And if you ignore those letters, and a lot of people ignore that stuff, they just set it aside, well, I'll get to it later. And then life happens and they don't read it. And then, once the AEP closes.
Well, what do you want me to do with that?
Well, then you've got one more bite at the apple.
Yeah, if you do have a Medicare Advantage plan at that point in time.
And we are talking about Medicare Advantage plans. So you do have that.
Yep, into the following first quarter of the next year. So you have that capability to make a one-time change only.
One change only
during that time. So, but yeah, so the other part of it too is just when it comes to your Medicare Advantage plans, this is one of those things that I always just try and reiterate to people is just be aware of the nuance within the plans. And why I say that is because every carrier is just a little bit different on certain benefits that you have. So meaning that, you're going to have a copay for, let's say it's a primary care physician. Most of the plans today have just a zero premium if you go in. So there's no actual cost or, zero copay for that.
Sure.
But when you go to the hospital, when you have outpatient surgery, when you have different things that are going on, those small differences are pretty big. The other aspect that you're going to have as far as...
Did you just say the small differences were pretty big? They can be.
They can be.
Yeah, so that's why you have to read your ANOC.
Yes, you have to read it. Or have a conversation with you.
Yeah,
or
give us a call.
Or go to our website, bradmike.com, and
indeed.
Take a look at that. But
and we haven't even started about the Part D that's included in Medicare.
Well, I was going to that next.
Oh, you were going there next?
I was trying to, but you didn't obviously follow my mental lead.
By all means, lead us down that path.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So let me go really fast on the other parts here, and we're going to get to Part D. So basically, indeed. Part D is going to be your prescription drug. So this is going to be another big component that you're going to have between carriers. One of the main things within the Medicare Advantage, the prescription drug plans, is going to be that component that provides coverage for you for those prescription drugs. Now, every year they basically have an annual maximum that you're going to be able to, that you'd have to pay for out of pocket.
So you're saying that each year I'm going to reach a limit and
Yes.
I'll never pay more than that amount.
Correct. Now,
For any of the prescription medications I happen to be on.
that is correct.
What if I have a tier 1 or a tier 2 prescription drug?
So let's tell them a little bit about what those tiers mean. So
Go ahead.
with the prescription drugs, every carrier has something called a formulary, and that formulary basically is going to be their list of all the prescription drugs that are known. And I mean, there's plenty. We've been doing this for a long time, and there's drugs that people sit down and they're like, I take this, and I'm like, how do you spell that?
Yeah, and it's invariably, and often when we're talking with someone for the first time, they're calling in and we're getting their prescriptions, and we want to plug them into the system and make sure that we're showing them plans that accommodate for those prescriptions. And certain prescriptions you hear over and over again, but every once in a while, you'll get one, and I'm like, you're just gonna have to spell that for me because I couldn't even begin to guess.
Mm-hmm. But every time you learn, or what, they come in and then people just start singing the song. It's kind of like,
oh, I know. If it's advertised on TV, there's always a song.
Mounjaro or Zepbound, all those different drugs and that type of stuff that you see on TV. But within each carrier, there's going to be a formulary, which basically specifies where that prescription drug falls at, either tier 1, 2, 3, or 5. Tier 1 are going to basically be your generics. They're going to be the least expensive manufactured drugs that you're able to get. And those, in some cases, might not even have an actual copay from that carrier.
That's correct.
But as you get up as far as the drugs, tier 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to start to see some differences within how the carrier adjudicates those actual prescription drugs.
And it changes from carrier to carrier. One carrier may list it as a tier 4, and another carrier may list it as a tier 3 or tier 2 even.
Yes. And that's really key. And that's one of the main things besides checking your doctors to make sure that they're in network is to check the Medicare Advantage plan that the prescription drugs where they fall at. And as I said before, it might be a small difference, but that difference may be big. And an example of that would be is somebody might have a drug and it might be a tier 3. And from one carrier to the other, one carrier might actually charge you 30%. So you're paying 30% of that actual drug, whereas another carrier might just have a copay. They might only have a $40 copay. Well, if the drug's $1,000 and you're paying 30% that's $300 versus $45.
You would want to know that going in.
Yes, you would.
Yes, you would.
Yes, no
hidden
hidden
surprises. And the other
surprises.
thing is look, if the medication you happen to be taking is advertised on TV, it's very likely that it's a 3, 4, or 5 tier drug.
Well, they're going to be dancing.
Yes,
they're going to be dancing because you
got
need
a
that
nice
drug.
family running on a beach, or whatever the case may be. But yes, you will end up paying more for those prescriptions.
Yes, you will. So just be aware of that. And the other part of it, too, is that obviously work with your doctor because in some cases, maybe how the drug is compounded, there might be other options, unless it is a...
Typically always are.
You know,
or even a stipend back from the manufacturer in some cases. We've
Yes.
seen that as well. And there are a lot of options. The most important thing is you got to give us a call. Give us a call and let us plug all this stuff into the system and see where everything falls. And then we can help recommend what plan might make best sense for you.
Yeah, but your Medicare Advantage, bottom line, basically, it's going to take care of your Part A and Part B. You're going to get one card from the carrier, and that's going to be your card that you're going to use going in, doctor's office.
But do not throw away your Medicare card. Always keep that red, white, and blue card. Always keep it right next to your Medicare Advantage card. Keep hold of it.
Yes, you need to keep hold of it. But that will basically take care of everything for you. So if you're hospitalized, if you're going in for prescription drugs, if you are, having dental, if vision, all that type of stuff is taken care of by the one carrier at that point in time for you. So just remember that with your Medicare Advantage programs, they're designed basically from the carrier to take care of all of your situational needs that you're actually having.
Correct.
And so the benefit that you have is that, as we said before, some are zero premium, some do have a cost, but the carrier takes care of all of your needs within that one plan, which is really good. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for people. But along those lines, there's, as I said, there's dental, there's vision, there's hearing.
There's dental, vision, hearing benefits, SilverSneakers, a give back. There's
give back. There's also in some cases there's over the counter. So they basically give you some money to basically help with over the counter type of medications that or Band-Aids and that type of thing that are not going to be necessarily a prescription drug that you're able to utilize those dollars for usually on a quarterly basis. So, bottom line is that Medicare Advantage basically has a copay to everything. From year to year, you have your annual enrollment period that you can go in, make changes, see what changes are being made to your plan. But at the same time, make sure by all means you either give us a call, hit our website. We're happy to help you out because if we don't know of the changes that are kind of going on in your world, especially with your medications, your doctors may have changed, all that stuff, it's important to look at that on a yearly basis because if you don't, the next thing you know, you get enrolled in a plan that might not be working for you. So definitely give us a call. So give myself, Mike Ritter, or
Brad Bachman.
Give us a call at Brad Mike or visit our website at bradmike.com. Thanks, everyone. Take care and see you next time.
Thanks again.